This is the 3.3 mini lesson on page 162. It says the average calorie requirement for an adult is 200 calories per day. When I see that, I'm thinking that's my total calories in a day. The recommended distribution of calories is 57% from carbs, 30% from fat, and 13% from protein. So these are parts of this whole. You can use a proportion to determine the number of calories that should be from carbohydrates. So we've already talked in the last lesson that a proportion can be used to solve percent problems. So I would like you to add 100 here. So normally it's percent over 100 equals part to whole. So step one, we're going to substitute what we know. I know that the carbs should be 57%. So instead of percent, we write 57. So 57% means 57 per 100. That's why we have the 100. And we identified this 2,000 to be my total calories for the day. So that would be the whole. So it's going to go on the bottom. So I'm trying to find the part, how many calories I should be eating from carbs. So actually, I don't really care for the way the book solved this. I right away see that I can scale this up. 100 times 20 is 2,000. 57 times 20 is 1,140. So 1,140 calories should be carbs out of my 2,000 calorie a day. And that even seems reasonable because this is just a little over 50%. So my number should be a little over half, and it is. Another way we could do this is to use means and extremes. So if we multiply this, and I'm rewriting it over here, we get the 100C and 57 times 2,000. So the means equals the extremes. When you multiply these, we get 114,000 equals the 100C. I am isolating the variables, so I'm dividing both sides by 100, and I get the exact same answer that we had up here. So if you prefer to use means and extremes, that's fine. If you prefer scaling up, that's fine too. So for an adult, the recommended number of calories per day from carbs would be 1,140 calories. So here's another strategy. You can also use a percent equation. This is kind of a big idea that we're going to also talk about to determine the number of calories that should be from carbs. A percent equation can be written in the form percent times whole equals part, where the percent is often written as a decimal. You could write it as a fraction as well. So here they're kind of showing me this. Percent as a decimal times whole equals the part. So the percent as a decimal is 0.57 times 2,000. When you multiply those, we get the same answer we had on the prior page. Or I could use fractions, 57 over 100 times 2,000. I would still get the same answer. So now we're going to try using these. So it says to use the proportion and percent equations to calculate the calories from fat and protein that are recommended for an adult on a 2,000 calorie diet. I am going to look back because I need to get, well, they tell me here, fat, we want 30%, protein 13. So I'm first going to use my proportion. 30 is the percent over 100 equals, I don't know the amount of fat, but I know my whole is a 2,000 calorie diet. So again, I might just see that this is an easy one to scale up, and I get times 20. When I do the same here, 3 times 2 is 6, and then the 2 zeros. So that means 600 calories of fat, or from the fats. If I want to do the percent equation, it's the percent as a decimal. 30% as a decimal, 0.3 or 0.30 times the whole. The whole was 2,000. That will equal my part. the part that's going to be fat. So when I multiply these together, I will get 600 equals X. So again, 600 calories. So to write this in a sentence, if an adult is on a 2,000 calorie per day diet, I'm going to maybe say 600 calories should be from fats. And that's to take care of our 30%. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through one more. Percent over 100, part over whole, percent as a decimal times whole equals part. So I'm going to do this first. 13% is 0.13. And we already said that the whole is a 2,000 calorie a day diet. And that's going to equal my part, which I could call that X too. When I multiply these, I get 260 equals my X. So it's 260 calories from protein. Here, 13 over 100 equals, I don't know the part, and the whole is 2,000. I think it's easiest to just scale up times 20 times 20. And when you take 13 times 20, X is the 260 again. So I would say that I should be getting 260 calories from protein if 13% of calories come from protein. And I'm on a 2,000 calorie per day diet. There's lots of ways you can say this. I probably didn't say it as nicely as I could have. All right, there's the end of 3.3.